What's your natural competitive advantage? If you really want power as a leader, this is the deepest level of development for leaders. So often we're operating in execution or in building capabilities, but natural competitive advantage isn't really talked about a lot. I'm explaining it to you in this video. I've been working on it since 2012 with corporates, with many leaders, and just sharing the insights for your advantage. If we look at leadership development, then it's often being based on three levels. We have the level of execution. Okay, so that's the level of achieving our work, of being productive, of getting results done, of working with our team, of working with our teams or business units. And at this level, we think about effectiveness and efficiency and alignment and misalignment. Are we meeting at the right moment? Where are the frictions between the teams? Where's the friction between my communication and stakeholders, for example? So this is the level of execution. Easy level, I'd say low level. Intermediate level is capabilities. So that means as a leader, what kind of capabilities are you developing? How are you turning your well, let's keep it this way. What capabilities are you developing? Have you been working on convincing stakeholders, on building trust with your teams, on having clarity of your communication skills? So that really has to do with capabilities, is building the competencies for you as a leader. This is often, I'd say, intermediate level. But at capabilities, there are two levels. The lower level is turning your, well, it's not exactly natural strength. It depends a little bit, but let's say it's turning your natural habits into strengths. So if you're very assertive, then it's easy for you to become a very influential person, to be able to convince, to build these skills, because this goes in line with your natural behavior. Listening in this regard will be more difficult, and probably also connecting with other people. So the capabilities that you need to stop your behavior, let's say integrating your weakness, is often way more difficult. And I'd say this is already intermediate to high level. The highest level is to build your natural competitive advantage. And if you look in the inner circle, purpose-driven leadership, then the lower triangle of identity builds your natural competitive advantage. So we really need to lock this triangle in our being. Otherwise, at the lower level, if you look at execution, we are simply being pulled by our habits in all kinds of direction. And when we lock this triangle, we access our natural competitive advantage, but we really need to reflect upon this, think about this until it locks. So it's a deep introspective process. It's making sense. So the first part is locking in really to your intrinsic motivation. So that can be many themes. When I talk with leaders, they have many ideas at the deep drive, but you need one or two that you say, that's specific enough, that's really who I am. And for strength, the same. When we have a list of strengths in our mind, it's not concrete or abstract enough. We need a top 1, 2, 3 that we say, this is where we really have power. This is where we add value. This is how I influence. And then you have a high level of clarity. And the same with the last part of the self. The self has to do to have clarity on yourself. What's the best role for you to play as a leader? What's your archetype? And then you can think about archetypes of Jung, for example. Are you a creator? Are you an explorer? Perhaps are you a king? Are you a warrior? Then you have clarity. And if you don't have this clarity, then you'll being pulled in many directions. You'll being fragmented. And when you have this natural competitive advantage, it gives you a lot of centeredness and clarity on yourself. And that's why I believe if you want to go fast, you must go slow. So this takes a while to develop in yourself. It's a cool process. But after a couple of months, even after a half year, then you leave maybe a big part of society behind you because they're not willing to do the deep reflection and introspection. So this is really the deepest level of almost, yeah, it sounds a bit, this is the deepest level of introspection. Let's keep it there.